Am I live? This is awkward. Having my coffee. I hope you're having coffee too, wherever you're at. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to talk about their plan is set, and there's only one way out. Now, before I start this topic, I've got to say it's interesting. I was listening to somebody on another channel that is moderating a channel, one of those channels. It's an interesting channel, but I made some comments about the real estate market, and immediately somebody just jumped right in and said, uh, they don't like me because I tell people to take their money out of their bank. Can I ask you a question real quick? Have I ever said to take your money out of the bank? Can you type yes or no? That'd be great. We could start it right there. And as you're typing, the premise of this video is to explain what very wealthy people are doing behind the scenes to crush the economy on purpose, and why world economies are their chessboard, and they don't get it. Now, one of my awesome moderators, Doug, just said no. I'm seeing no's coming through. Okay. So I want to explain something that most people do not understand. I have said multiple times in the titles and the thumbnails of my videos, get your money out of the bank now. I've said it. And within the first 10 seconds of that video, I said, now, either videos I've said, this is what the algorithm wants to hear. This is what is going to get people to click on this video. And I want you to know that I have never taken my money out of the bank. I have emergency funds. I have a certain amount of cash set aside in a safe place for things like what just happened with that, what's it called? The downturn of the internet, where everything's going crazy and you still need to buy some things. I do believe there's some events where you're going to need to have a month's worth of cash to buy groceries. I do believe that. So you should have that much out. But I've said over and over, I'm a businessman. I have multiple businesses. When I started the YouTube channel, I had 4 companies I was running. It was crushing me just with time. And so I have to do business. I have to do international wire transfers. I'm into crypto. I have stock accounts. I have all that stuff. And I've said over and over, I said, you need to not have all your money in one bank. You separate it because we have a banking crisis going on. And I'll give a great example. I've reported on multiple banks now. I'm blanking on the one that it was an online bank that turned into an online gambling casino and has seized everybody's money. Everybody's money as of, I think, March is seized, right? Is it not SoFi? I'm blanking on the name. You'll have to remind me in the comment section. But my point being is that you will have to, if you had all your money in that bank, it's gone. They don't even know where it is. They're trying to do that. Well, the problem is human beings, and the reason why most human beings are not successful, and the only success financially, we'll define this success, as people get super angry. Thank you. Someone said it's synapse. Financially, and the greatest asset they're ever going to have is their one home, is because they are headline readers. They don't dig into anything. They don't try and contemplate something that goes against their belief system as truth, so that they're really trying to weed through their own ability or fight their inability for critical thinking. And so this is a prime example of it. So my answer to this person, and they said, you've said tell people to get all their money out of the bank or something like that. And I said, you've got to focus on the or something like that portion. Great news is that person's definitely going to drive over to this video and watch it. Is because that's the separation between a critical thinker and an emotional thinker, right? It's why liberals are liberals, because they hear something and they immediately act. They don't think before they speak. And that's what separates your success from your failures. Can I get an amen with that? Do people understand that? I hope that makes sense. So I have my money in multiple banks. I always have, never taken it out. And I asked this person, could you please do me the favor, go back through all my videos and find where I said it on a video. Get your money out of the bank. Take your money out of the bank. If it wasn't in a thumbnail or title, and within the first minute of me talking about in the video, if you can't get past the first minute in a video, then I think TikTok is more of your style, right? All right. So the title of this video is Their Trap is Set. And this is what their trap is. Now, we're already 5 minutes in the video, so a lot of people may miss this. But wealthy people, and you don't have to be an elite to know this. You can have a net worth of $10 million and understand how this works. And I'm going to share it with you. Elite, wealthy people use the world's economies as their chessboard and their pawns. And we've spoken before how you can arbitrage during a collapse. And we'll use the Great Recession as an example. When the price of gold had bottomed in October and stocks were still falling and homes were falling, but the home sale crisis, it lasts so much longer, right? It's so much slower than stock market corrections, crypto corrections, things like that. The arbitrage from gold into those other asset classes were amazing. Well, wealthy people understand this. And so what they do, just like what you're seeing in the last year and a half, where all these wealthy billionaires like Warren Buffett are slowly pulling all their money out. Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on the largest cash hoard it's ever had in history of the company. It has more cash to equity position in stocks, bonds, things like that. It has more in cash than ever before, that ratio, right? It's because he's getting ready. I lived through that in 2005, 2006, when Warren Buffett started stacking cash. And then what he started doing is, as the economy started falling, he was buying things that everybody was fleeing from, like transportation stocks, railroad stocks, shipping stocks, things like that. So the plan is already set in motion, and Jamie Dimon selling his stock and JP Morgan, things like that, they're already positioning themselves to take advantage of this. Now, how does the common man or woman deal with this? Well, here's the scary thing, and this is what I've been preparing people for 2 years now. You have to get out of debt and live inside of a debt-free bubble to a certain extent, but then you have to wade into the debt markets, okay? Because, I'll give you an example. Anybody in this country, I truly believe, can save up and pay cash for a vehicle. Now, is it going to be $100,000, Suburban, or is it going to be, what's it called? Any of those cars? Shoot, almost every car is super expensive now, right? Even a Toyota pickup truck, brand new, loaded, I want to say is like 60 grand, right? No, you're not going to do that because you need a car sooner than later. So anybody has the ability to be able to buy a vehicle cash, just like I did. I saved up. Okay, this is the truth, because and my friends and family don't like hearing this at all. Okay. My net worth when I was in my early 20s, my dad just told me, you're out there bragging. And I'm like, about what? And he goes, well, you're saying, you're a millionaire. You were a millionaire. And I'm like, how do I build a basis of what's it called? Understanding without, and to be able to teach people without telling them the truth. He goes, well, it doesn't matter that it's the truth. I'm like, it absolutely does, Dad. And this is a conversation on my dad. I'm sure he's going to see this when I talk about it. Because I said, Dad, I could drive up in a Ferrari and everyone's going to listen to me. He goes, yeah, that's true. I said, and you know what's scary? I don't have to own the Ferrari. I'm going to take a little segue here. I went to a YouTuber convention, and all these agents mob me and want to or not agents, but these lenders. And they're like, hey, we've got financing for you for the car of your dreams. And I'm not joking. They had Lamborghinis lined up out there. And there was YouTubers signing up, and they were loaning YouTubers, this is dead serious, money at 50%. It was 49.8% interest for Lamborghinis. And they were showing them how much better their channel would be and how much more credibility they would have. This was absolutely blowing my mind. Now, obviously, and so this, I tried getting a camera on them, and they ran so fast. They're like, because they were having them sign the craziest contracts against their future earnings as collateral and just insane stuff. Like I played along and asked for their contract. I'm like, dude, I'm totally interested. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Do you know how many more people would listen to me if I drove up in a Lambo? When I'm talking about finances. And so I'm signing, and then I didn't sign anything. I'm like, okay, so tell me about the acceleration clause. And he goes, oh, you're in finance? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, this isn't for you. And I'm like, come on, man, just pitch me. And I'm like trying to get someone to grab a camera fast enough, and they fled. Well, going back to my conversation with my dad, I said, Dad, I'm like, think about it. Anyone can go get a Ferrari, get a Lambo. I've spoken with a handful of Lambo dealers, because there's going to be a day where I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to show you how I bought it for literally 75% off. And I did it because I took my silver, or I took another asset. That asset, this was my initial investment. I actually I know this is going off on some tangents, but type 3, if this is the kind of stuff you want to hear, I want to teach some people something. When I sold my Ferrari kit car, because remember, you've probably heard the story of when I was 23, when I built up my first $1 million in assets, right? Assets minus liabilities, and I invested in oil wells. Robert Kiyosaki got me into it in like 2005. He introduced me to someone from, I don't even want to tell you the name of the company, but anyway, I had to prove that I was a millionaire to become what's called an accredited investor. And I was around 24 years old, 25 years old at that time. And so, I told my dad, I said, yeah, but Dad, look, I was a millionaire. I became a accredited investor. I was able to invest in this and that. He goes, well, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it does matter, because I have to actually tell people the truth to give a baseline. Because even when, going back to the car thing, when I was a millionaire and then actually a multimillionaire, I was driving an old beat up Jetta TDI that I paid $1,000 for, because my car before that, my 1992 Honda Civic that I was driving back and forth to the fire station for years, that I paid $1,000 for that too. It got in an accident, totaled. So I bought an old beat up TDI, and I loved it because both those cars got amazing gas mileage, right? And I owned all my vehicles. And the guys at the fire station would mock me. And I was reminding my father, he's, oh, yeah. And my dad even used to tell me, he goes, years and years ago, he goes, you know what, why don't you just go buy a Porsche someday and pull up and just prove it to him? I go, because that's not where I'm at. I'm not there right now. I've got too many other financial goals I want to hit, And he goes, okay, I can understand that. Well, just the other day, he says, well, you're bragging. I'm like, I've got to try and show people. And I've had lots of finance YouTubers, a handful of them, tell me before, oh yeah, you're the real deal. And this ain't me bragging. These are real stories. I guarantee you the last guy is watching this video. He knows exactly. And I will never, but I live pretty humbly. My house is very small, like 1,400 square feet. I paid it off. I don't have fancy things. There's going to be a day soon that I'm going to have some really fancy stuff. And when I sold my kit car, I actually went and bought silver with it, and I wrote the price I paid for it. I wrote kit car, and I told my wife, I will buy the real thing with the same amount of money that I sold my joke of a kit car for. Right? Now, this is going on a tangent, but that's going to build to the most important part. And this is going to be near the end of the video. So I always love putting the nuggets at the end, because people that are truly listening, people like my moderator, Doug, that says, no, you've never said take your money out of the banks, right? Because I want to get to the real people. I want to change the real people's lives, the important people, because I don't care about impressing morons. I care about changing good, intelligent, critical thinking people's lives, right? A good teacher actually picks his or her students. Type 5 if you understand that. Because to make the most impact in this world, you've got to have the right students, because I am only one person, you are only one person. But what you have, if you can give it to 5 or 10 people and then they go out and give it to 5 or 10, it changes the world, right? Okay, so there are wealthy people that are going to take this market and tank it. All right. We're already seeing it. It's already turning. The first part of the plan is raising interest rates. All right. The Fed can't lower rates because it would cause insane leverage. People would dive into the real estate market. You think that real estate's high now? You haven't seen anything yet, and it will cause insurance to explode. It'll cause all kinds of things to explode. The stock market, cryptos, right? So they've got to keep the pressure on. They'll lower it for a little bit, a couple months, and then they're going to spike it really high. I'm still on record saying you are going to see double-digit mortgages. We're now within about a year, I believe, of that amount. I'm not joking. Within the first year of Trump's campaign, I bet you we see double-digit mortgages. All right? If we don't, we don't. Okay? But I guarantee you this, I don't think we're going to see much lower rates substantially in the next year, okay? So as the market tanks, they're going to start buying up assets. So when I say that you have to have your personal life in a bubble, you've got everything paid off, you have it in the proper legal entity, whether it be a trust for passing off your assets to your heirs tax-free, you equity strip using HELOCs, but you don't touch that debt so that people can't legally attack you, or you go get homesteaded, or you go out and get umbrella policies, whatever. But that's your personal life, right? If everything detonates around you, everything you try, stocks and all these things, everything detonates around you, you still own everything over here. You own your vehicle, you own your home, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's very hard to pay off your home. Well, it's actually not. It just takes dedication and time. It just takes time, right? Using velocity banking or paying an extra payment each year. You know what I mean? You can do it, right? But then outside, to actually break out of the matrix and become very wealthy, you have to use other people's money to do it. You have to use leverage. So people don't understand that. There's never a bad time to buy a house, no matter if you're at the top of the cycle or bottom. I know it sounds crazy. If you're at the top of the cycle, just make sure you don't buy something where the payment costs you more and it's a fixed rate than your rent would be. That's just common sense. But in this world, common sense ain't so common. Type 10 if you agree with that. And as you're typing 10, that should get you so fired up, so pumped up, and so excited, because when you know everyone else is bat crap crazy, you can take advantage of that. You don't need a high level of education. And I'll tell you why. Because think about all the people that run the government, right? They have all these PhDs, MDs, ABC, LGB, QFT, LMNOPs. You know what I'm talking about. And they're all academics, right? And they're complete morons. Most of them, I know people. I know someone that runs, I can't say where because you'll know exactly who it is, but runs the English department of one of the largest, most prestigious colleges in this country and is a complete tool. Doesn't have two dimes to rub together. But boy, you get into a conversation with one of these people and holy cow, you're the biggest idiot in the world, right? They're educated morons. It's perfect comment, Curtis. So this should get you fired up, but you have to learn how to take out debt properly. That's the other thing that kills people. That just wrapped into a great commercial. There's 2 days left to that course. If you want to learn the pre-filming discount, if you want to learn how to use other people's money and you want to do it right and you want to save lots of money, the course is there. But you don't need that. Here's the thing. I never, ever had a course was given to me on how to borrow money and how to save lots and lots of money. I had to go through the school of hard knocks. You've heard the story of my first mortgage where they tried to sneak in a $10,000 fee. Then they not blackmailed me, but they didn't show me until I was signing the night before escrow was going to close. And literally the words out of my lender's mouth came out and says, well, if you don't sign it, you don't get the house. You lose your house. Didn't you already give your notice on your rental? Because they've been doing it to other people. Boy, I had to suffer some hard setbacks. Now, I told him to go pound sand, and I'm not paying it. And so he's not getting a commission. And to that, he asked to give the phone over to the escrow officer and said, take it off. And the escrow officer told me, I'd never seen that before. He's been cheating people, and I can't legally tell people that are signing these docs. It kills me. You're the only person to have it taken off. And so I've had to go through the hard knocks. Do you know how many people? I mean, one of my students, I'm helping, I wasn't going to say this, but I am actually helping 2 of my students in the local area in Nevada buy homes right now. And one of them was laughing because he goes, I bought the Mortgage Master. Both of them bought the Mortgage Master course before they went to go buy a house. And the one goes, if I go through with this house and I'm going to interview him, I think that would be good for the channel for you to meet people that I'm helping out personally. He goes, I've already saved $50,000. He goes, just using your course. He goes, it's insane. It's literally like you said, if you buy it, you're going to save 5 to 10 times the cost of that course. But you know how many people sit back and go, I'm not going to do that. You don't need a course to do it. Do you accelerate when you have a mentor and someone that's standing by and saying, yeah, do this, don't do that. Like, I've done that, you'll lose money. Yes, right? That's the only reason I started the courses, because I was mentoring so many people. I was too booked. I'm like, I can help thousands of people doing this. That's it. That's the shtick. Now, going back to this other YouTube channel where they're just like attacking me, saying that I told people to take money out of the bank, which I'm like, I know I didn't. I said, look, here's my offer to you. And this is to any YouTuber, because I guarantee you a lot of them are watching because they can't stand me. Because the channel keeps growing, right? Because why? It's called Logic and hanging out with amazing people. Every single one of you that are commenting and understanding what I'm talking about, you're actually super smart. And I'm going to tell you what, I know people. I can't honestly say I don't know. I've met so many subscribers. I've never met one subscriber that's unsuccessful. And this is why. Because their success is in 2 different ways. when we're talking about money, financial success, there's two different types of success financially. Those that actually have high net worths and have crushed it because they've came from this and now they're here. The other type of person that's successful finances that just figured it out, that they have what it takes to win and they're now moving forward. And every day they make a little change and they're like, oh, I'm not getting into that debt. I used to do that, right? And then the next day they make another better decision. I'm going to pay that debt off. And then they just keep running. So I've never met one channel subscriber that is not successful. I have met people that are like, oh my gosh, I just paid off my credit card. Thank you. As a matter of fact, has anyone here right now, since they started watching this channel, paid off some debt in one form or another? Hashtag what type of debt you paid off. Okay, write down in the comments. People need to be able to see this. My point being is that the reason why this is important to know, I've met people that are at that point. I've paid off debt. I've met people, there are a lot of people in this channel that are worth lots of money. Lots of money. And it's really exciting. Why? Why would they watch me? Because I'm a dork with a bro hawk and a dream. I read off cardboard notes. Sometimes I show up on a tricycle. It's because they actually understand that I actually know what I'm talking about. That's why Fox News, Fox Business will not have me on live. So I told this other YouTube channel, I said, I'll tell you what, I would love it. And I'm not mad at all because he's like, I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm like, I'm not mad. How could you be pissed off if you're being accused of something you didn't do? Like, can't hurt me. I said, go find where I said it. And then what I would like you to do, interview me live. I'll only be interviewed live because I don't trust a lot of these other YouTubers. They like to cut things up. I said, just interview me live and come against me. Bring info that I've said on my channel, show videos, show thumbnails, show it, because it would be an amazing experiment, actually a learning lesson, because I'm going to show the psychology of the human being, the way they're thinking, and why they're in their current financial state. Does that sound fair to you? Would you like to see other YouTube channels challenge the ninja live? Type 11 if you agree with that. And then go out to those channels. I'm sure you know what they are. And these are real estate specific channels. And go tell them, say, the ninja would love for you to challenge him live. Let's do it. Because if I'm wrong, maybe I forgot something I said in the past. Let me own up to it. Because a true wise person heeds rebuke. Meaning a truly wise person and somebody that wants to be successful in any area of their life wants to hear of something they're doing wrong so that they can immediately repent or ask forgiveness of that and then change. I want to be number one. I want you to be number one. And we can't be number one unless we're living in the truth and not lying to people. So go out to the YouTube channels and say the ninja wants to be interviewed live. You should interview him. They won't. They won't. I can guarantee you that. Because they know inside. They're all upset and angry and pissed off. I love it. I got to be honest with you. That's where I like to live. I'm going to do a video about a Mickey Mantle baseball card and an ounce of silver later tonight. And I think hopefully it'll really open some people's eyes and really inspire you to get you pumped up. If you want to learn about that course, I can say this will never be this price again. Because it is the Investor Mortgage Pro, if you ever want to go out and get mortgages. And what I'm going to do, I treat all of my courses like it's what, 87% off right now for like 2 more days. I treat all of my courses like mentoring. When I learn something new or there's a change in the mortgage industry or change in real estate, I just go put a new lesson on. So once you've locked in your price, you get all those other lessons for free, not other courses. People mix that up all the time. You told me I get everything for $200. I'm like, well, I don't. Do you tell that to authors of books you just bought? I just bought your book. Well, I want all the other ones now. I don't know how to deal with that. But anyway, it's 87% off for 2 more days. I hope you guys have a great day. Links down below. Hope you learned something. If you learned something, or if something happened positive during this video and you're inspired, can you type 12 for me? Because I really want to hear, and then it shows me you made it to the end. I mean, it's live, but it's really cool later when the video's out and people make it to the end and they're not just headline readers and they're chewing on information and learning. So there is a day you're going to see me in a Lamborghini and a GT40 and a Shelby Cobra You will see a yacht. You will see a private jet. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just the evolution of wealth. And as long as I don't spend more than 10% of what I make, I know this sounds crazy, I feel okay with that. You make $1, you tithe 10%, you have money set aside for offerings, that's private. You invest the rest. That's how I live my life. That's how I've lived my life for almost 20 years now. And I know there's a lot of people in my own personal life I had to go tell the truth to, and they're just, I don't think they even still believe it. And that's why I named the channel The Economic Ninja, because a true ninja never shows his actual power unless he absolutely needs to. And if he does, it's for the betterment of not only himself, but for those around him. That's what a real ninja does. That's called being meek. But at a certain point, we got to build at least a little bit of a baseline. Hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja is out.